Okay.
Cool. Man, Wednesday night emergency pod. It's been a long time since I got my Penn State fellas in the back in the cave, man. I appreciate you guys hanging back. Jeff, a.k.a. Shank, how are you doing, sir?
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well. Matty Ice. Love the name, brother. How you been, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Alrighty, all right.
Oh, yeah? Really? Are we?
Yeah.
Who, me? Who, me?
Considering while we're here.
Consider him over here, absolutely.
I look at blessing that he's gone. You know my feelings towards him. So, yeah, I'm doing great.
All right, so, yeah, like I said, for here in the Burgh Cave, man, you know, we're normally Pittsburgh Steelers focused. I have a great partnership with JJ and Harry with Pitt football. But listen, I got a lot of friends here that are Penn State people, and they deserve. Listen, I think there's some big news around Penn State, so I definitely welcome and appreciate you guys hanging back with us. Talk some James Franklin. We're going to talk about the buyout. We're going to talk about, you know, I think there's some inner turmoil within Penn State with some faculty and such. So we're going to see how that goes. I definitely want your guys' thoughts, and I do see some people coming in here. I'm going to give you guys Bike Champs 00 we are. So you guys, we're a minute 16 in, and we got a we are.
Yes.
And we also have, oh, look at this. We got a familiar foe watching us here. Yeah? Look at that.
There is Big HP.
Big Guru. All right. JJ, my man. Yeah. Held up Pifford as a big guy, but you know what? JJ is a college football guy as well. So he was here to hear your guys' perspective on Penn State. So listen, real quick before we start with the Penn State folks, man, a little house cleaning with the Burgh Cave. I'd like to welcome everybody that is joining us here, talking some Penn State football, some James Franklin. If you guys do see the little QR code, I always get this backwards here. It's over this way. That is a link to the Burgh Cave merch page. You get yourself I'm an IPA guy sweatshirt, t-shirt. My man GB, who is not here, he has his Uppity Yinzers gear. Western PA football made me. Show your WPIAL pride. Get yourself a t-shirt, man. Support the Burgh Cave. Help us grow the channel and do some things. We got some big plans coming up here the rest of the football season and into next year. So we hope to see everybody rocking some Burgh Cave gear, you know, sooner rather than later. In true fashion, and I don't know if you guys brought something, but I like to review some beers. I mean, you guys have both been on some Burgh Cave beer reviews back in the day. Last Monday, I had a Lancaster Brewery pumpkin ale that was just absolutely trash. So I'm giving these guys another shot with their Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest is generally some really, really good beer. And last time I looked, these guys didn't even put a damn ABV on their pumpkin one. Let's see what's this. Okay, this is 5.5. A lot easier to find. So an Oktoberfest, one of my favorite beers. The bar for that is Sam Adams, right?
Okay.
So got a really good color.
Yeah.
I like it. So cheers, and we're going to give you a Burgh Cave score. Yeah. Hell of a lot better than their pumpkin beer.
All right, what's the score?
Jeff, you and I have the same taste of beers. We like this.
Yeah.
This is a solid 7.4.
Okay.
This is something I'm going to buy more and keep in the man cave during the fall time and during October.
Good Halloween beer.
Festy.
Yeah.
We're going to be festy in October.
No pumpkin beers. That's all.
No pumpkin beers. Dixon, you got a fan, brother?
Yes. There's HP for you.
There we go.
He's the man. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely.
I know he loves Pitt, but you guys know I get along with him great. He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah, listen. Pitt and Penn State's such a great rivalry, and there's good people and bad people on both sides of it. Harry's a good one, JJ's a good one, and it's one of these days you guys will probably all meet and everything. It's really good conversation. So
I married one, so
that's right. And JJ, if you're watching, Shank's got a really cool relationship where he's a Penn State grad and his wife's a Pitt grad. So I think I want to come down to your house when the basketball teams clash this year. I mean, I just want to sit there and watch.
No, I'm going to come to your house so I can.
Okay, just so you can just wreck my house. You guys can just start a fight.
No, not with Courtney.
Oh, just to get away.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes, we can't. We can't do that.
Door is always open for your brother. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Is it from an outsider, meaning not a Penn State alum or a Penn State fan like you guys are? I was shocked that they pulled the trigger. Maybe not necessarily getting rid of James Franklin, because you guys have been, talking about this, unhappy with his performance the last few years. especially into the playoffs and everything. But considering he was in the Final Four of college football last year, and then for them to pull a trigger, then listen, they had 3 bad games, but it's 3 games. Well, 2 bad games. The game versus Oregon was a slugfest, and that's fine. You lose a 1-score game between 2 top 10 teams. It is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. What was your initial reaction? Jeff, I want you to go first on this. Like when you saw the Twitter feed, the news, James Franklin is at AHT from Penn State. What was your initial reaction?
Well, I wasn't shocked, I'll say. I was a bit surprised because, there's been stability for quite a while.
Right.
And Franklin's won, 11 games, 10 games, 13 games the last 3 years. But understanding now where, the behind the scenes of what was happening, you can't lose to Northwestern. They were 20-point favorites against UCLA and Northwestern. And Franklin won those games in the past. The Penn State won over 40 games when they were favored. Now, the problem is they're not winning when they weren't. But they were beating these teams, and it wasn't really close. So something was off the last couple games. That it's a talented roster. So it was pretty surprising. But once now there's retrospect that it wasn't anything. He wasn't going to last the year. Put it that way. They could have run the table and went 9-3 and missed the playoffs, and he was going to get let go. So. That's
what's surprising for Matty Ice. Before you get in here, that's what's surprising. A program like Penn State that has the stability, and he was 104-45 as a coach. The one thing that we all of us, the look at Penn State is they always win the games they're supposed to win, at least most of the time. And to your point, this year was a little bit different. But Matty Ice, your initial thoughts when they said Franklin there. I mean, whether you're happy or not, but just your initial reaction, or was it like a shock value, or what were you thinking?
No, I was not shocked. I'm one that's going to tell you that. He was doing things teams weren't doing in 40 years or never doing. It took 40 years for him to lose to it being ranked top 10 and losing to an 0-4 team. That, and then losing to Northwestern, and then the whole back-to-back of a 20-point favorite. That has never been done. Pat Kraft doesn't mess around. There was a plan in place. I don't know if it was both before the season or when they lost to Oregon, because I think Pat Kraft goes, I'm done with this. And I don't blame him. I mean, I can't blame him one bit, because I was done with it. When they lost Oregon, the team went down, and that's the coach. He lost the room, and you clearly seen it. So he's in the locker room. He's there. He knows what's going on. So he lost the room. I don't think Franklin's a bad guy. I will never trash the guy personally. Just not a great big-time coach. He beats the teams he should beat or has, but he doesn't beat the teams he needs to beat to get over the top. Okay. So I was not shocked. Sorry.
No. I have a question. You said something very interesting here about him, losing the room or maybe losing the team or whatever that might be. Because Penn State has 2 very, very good coordinators. Supposedly. What do you think? Do you think it's they brought the guy in from Ohio State. Did you think there might be some friction with the coordinators as well, too, with some game plan friction? What do you guys see in that? Because to lose the room, it has to be with the coordinators too, right?
So Franklin's downfall was the coordinators. And here's what happened. He hired Kodolnicki, who's comes from Kansas before Buffalo. He's a college offensive coordinator. Drew Aller is a pocket passer. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. Kodolnicki runs an RPO. He runs with a quarterback has to be mobile. Yeah. He's running pretty simple concepts, and it wasn't the right fit. So on top of that, he hires Jim Knowles. Now, Knowles is the highest paid coordinator on either side of the ball in college football, which Penn State normally doesn't do. So looking back, to me, I don't know that was a Franklin thing. I think that was a Pat Kraft thing, where it's like, we want to win, we're bringing in the best. So I don't know how Franklin and Knowles got along, but if you talk to Ohio State people, Jim Knowles' defense takes a couple of years to implement. It is year one is not going to be smooth. So if you wanted to win this year, was Knowles the right guy when maybe long term? Because Ohio State's defense, they didn't have to be perfect because their offense was always so good. But it took them till year 3 before it really started to stick.
Yeah.
So I think the hiring of those two was his complete downfall. Are they good individually? Absolutely. Kotelnicki was the coordinator of the year at Kansas before he came to Penn State. So, but collectively, I don't think it fit. Like he wasn't used to he's using 3-star guys. He wasn't used to it. And the concepts just didn't mesh with the personnel.
So we have our first question that comes in, and Matty Ice, I want you to take first crack at this. And Shank was mentioning Drew Aller, right? Bike Champs 00 says, what do you think of Drew Aller? So I'd like to get both of your guys' opinions on this, especially, it seemed like a round peg in a square hole, or, whatever that, maybe I got that backwards. I don't know. The Drew Aller, is it more of, he's awfully struggled this year. And I've seen some mechanical issues with him. He's got top 3 talent physically. There's never a doubt. First time I saw him, I believe, when he played his freshman year, I think was talking to you guys, like, man, this kid's special. But he seems to just regress at certain points. And that, to me, that's a coaching thing, or it's just mental with him. I still think he's going in the first round if he comes out, because somebody's going to want that 5th year for developmental reasons. He has the potential. But Matty, you take the first crack at this for Bike Champs. What are your thoughts on Drew Aller?
I think Jeff said it. He's not put in the right position. He's not an RPO quarterback. But with saying that, there's passes he's got to make. The throw in the Notre Dame game, can't make that throw.
Yeah.
The Oregon game, I do believe he's not coached well. I do agree with that, but there's still some ownership on the player itself. Why are you making that throw? He missed, I think it was Singleton, would have been an easy touchdown in that game, or an easy pass to him. It's basically in the dirt. He basically in the grass. I guess I'm gonna say it's a mechanical issue and maybe a mental thing, probably both. Because sports is a mental thing, especially being a quarterback. I mean, you're out there on an island, so quarterback is the toughest position in football.
Yeah.
Just because of that. But I do think the combination of the coordinators and the coaching, but there's some ownership still on Drew himself. Because he does make some passes. He's got to hit them on. I mean, he'll overthrow pass.
Yeah, there's just some inconsistencies there. One pass, you're like, wow, top pick. The other one, you're like, really? But Jeff, I want to give you your chance to weigh in. I know you mentioned him briefly, but your thoughts on Drew Aller?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Matt said. I think he missed some throws. And if you look back at the Notre Dame game last year, he missed a couple that if he hits it, it's a different game. He was put in bad positions. The receivers were never open. He wasn't someone like you talk about Aaron Rodgers in his prime, like throwing guys open.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like most quarterbacks can't do it. He didn't have receivers that were getting open. And quite honestly, the last few weeks weren't even given much effort. So what I'll say is he studies the game. He works hard. He always gives 100%. So, I see him as like Mason Rudolph in the NFL. I see him as he'll go in. I don't think he'll be a superstar because he's too inconsistent for it. But could he be a 3rd round pick and end up as a backup? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and if he catches on with the right team and coordinator, you never know. So that's good thoughts. Good
thoughts.
The
49ers.
Exactly.
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Shanahan, he makes good quarterbacks, just keeps blowing Super Bowls. But for James Franklin, just take a look back at his career here, right? His 104, 45 record, 6-6 in the bowls. I pulled this from stats. Obviously basically a 70% winning percentage. What do you think is his legacy at Penn State?
Well,
you would take that first, or you want to go first, Jeff? Shank.
I'm good. People forget that he came in 2014 and 2015 when the sanctions were still a thing, and Penn State didn't have more than 50 scholarship players, and he had to rebuild from complete studs. right? Like it was flatlined. O'Brien did a decent job as far as stabilizing everything, but Franklin had nothing. He had no recruiting. He was switching defensive linemen to the offensive line in 2016. So he didn't even have a 3 deep in the offensive line until like 2018. So his legacy is that he got us to the point where the expectations are national championship. There was no expectations back then. And what if we didn't hire Franklin? What if we brought in someone that completely tore down the program? So could he not get us over the hump? Absolutely not. Is he a program builder? If you have a 10-year, if you stink, I would hire James Franklin for at least 5 years to get you brought back, like
hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, I'll comment on that. I disagree to a certain extent.
Okay, please.
So Penn State's roster averages, when it comes to the stars rankings, if you look it up, they're always right around 12. So he's had a top 5 recruiting class twice in his 12 years. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's at Penn State, in my opinion, anyone can come in and get a top 15 recruiting class. I mean, you should be able to just get 4-star guys to come to Penn State, and you're going to end up like right around 15th. So is it impressive to be 12th? To me, no. He's more of a developer. His coaching staff, like position coaches, are really good. And so Penn State, I think, in the last 5 years is somewhere around 6th or 7th in terms of NFL draft picks. So they're developing guys, which is the criticism of why he's not winning more. So, but recruiting, I don't think he gets that label, and I'm like, he's fine. But when have we had multiple 5-stars? Not much. It's not much. And we haven't, since NIL, we haven't had many because for whatever reason. But
could that be because Penn State hasn't ponied the money up as much? Now, recently they are, Jeff, for the NIL. But I would say prior NIL, let's just be honest, some of the colors were paying players, but Penn State wasn't.
Well, NIL is now.
But no, but I'm saying right now with NIL, Penn State's alumni base that has the bank to do it, they're still reluctant. They're getting there. If they get where they should get, they could pretty much pay any player that they want. Don't you agree, Jeff?
Yeah.
If
now,
they get
now
there.
they are. Yeah, now they are.
Well, they're getting there. So yeah, I think
it hasn't hit yet. It hasn't hit yet.
Correct. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. Yeah.
So Manny, if you're going to give Franklin a grade on his tenure at Penn State, what would you give it?
About a B or B minus, and that's because he couldn't win the big game consistently. His record against Ohio State was 1 win, and that's on a blocked field goal by Marcus Allen and Haley returning it. Besides that, I mean, he's beat them once in Michigan a few times. I don't know the Michigan record as good. It's like 3 or 4 wins, Jeff. I'm just guessing around there. That's not acceptable either. I mean, now to be honest with you, to be fair to him on this, and I'll be fair, the Joe bots, as we have to call them, they will criticize Franklin. But Joe's record against Michigan, he had that long losing streak that he never stopped. So. Yeah. I was critical of Joe as well. So if I'm being critical of Franklin there, but as I agree with what Jeff said, he built the program down from nothing to something. So, but I think he did prove, as I said, prior to Sandy Barber getting him signed for that extension, and she's a big part of this mess too. But we can hit that one later. But he at least proved people. I was telling people, you don't need to sign him. He proved that the recruits will come to Penn State, and he's a good program builder. Somebody's going to sign him. There is no doubt. And maybe he needs a change of scenery. He's been there 12 years, so it's been a long time. So he should go to a different scenery. It's not going to hurt him. Yeah.
Yep. So
better B minus. I mean, heck, I'll say B because he's gone. So I'll give a flat B.
Jeff, just from a quick grade, and I want to get to the next topic real quick. What is your grade?
Yeah, you know what? I'll go B minus because as much as what I said about him building it, you have to beat Ohio State and Michigan at least a third of the time, right? Like really half the time, but that was a major failure, no question.
Okay.
And they had them multiple times, and that was pure coaching, right? There's talent, and then you're winning by 14 points in the fourth quarter and blow it. This happens, you blow it. So yeah, I'll say B-.
Yeah, those are more than fair. I think you're giving credit, but you're also critical. So I think those are solid grades. The big thing that, other than the shock that Penn State did this in season, the second largest buyout behind Fisher at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen anywhere from 49 to 57 million. I don't know what that is. Obviously, I know there was a clause in his buyout for him to make a good faith effort in looking for another job. I don't know if that actually lowers the buyout or what that clause really kicks in as far as any other issues with the contract.
Yeah, it's $8 million a year, and
8 million. What do you mean? He gets an extra 8 million or something?
He gets $8 million a year.
The buyout's 8 million a year.
$8 million a year for 6 years, and then if he gets whatever he makes the difference, Penn State doesn't have to pay. So if he gets a job making $4 a year, then Penn State owes him $4 a year.
Gotcha. So was he now like the college football Bobby Bonilla here? Huh? Just gets that check once a year, right?
Right.
Hey, listen, good for James Franklin for that, man. Seriously. So what about? I wanted your guys' this is a continue on the buyout, but I was reading something, and I don't know how much you guys know about this, and I was reading this, and it's kind of just sounds like administration versus sports here. There was some internal turmoil, if you will, at Penn State because of the buyout, and because they're closing 7 satellite campuses.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was some, and again, faculty. Again, this could be like, why are you doing this for sports, but not for this and that? The $49 million. Listen, Penn State and New Canton, close to my my stomping grounds. That's a 6-year budget. $49 million is 6 years budget, but they're closing it just so. Again, I don't think they're closing it just to pay Franklin. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. But what are you guys hearing anything else from like alumni or anybody else within Penn State that's essentially not agreeing with this because of the size of the buyout? And I'm sure this is being funded by boosters and other people, but what are your guys' thoughts on that? Or is that just a bunch of hogwash?
Yeah, I think that the buyout itself, they had to, well, one, it hasn't been paid. It's not like a lump sum or anything. So
right.
Even occurred. But there's certain boosters like Pagula, the owner of the Bills,
and Sabres,
that he somehow agreed to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get certain amount of boosters to say, can you help with this?
Okay.
I don't think it was Adidas. I don't think that a deal like that would materialize, because why do they necessarily care? Because they have other schools that could be hurt by this, right? So if Matt Rule left to come coach Penn State, Adidas is Nebraska too. So then all of a sudden they're losing there. So I don't think it has anything to do with Adidas.
Okay, I want to bring that up, and Maddie, take this and insert your comments on this, because I put a comment on the Twitters a couple of days ago, and I started a shitstorm about, obviously I don't want Adidas or companies like Nike making coaching decisions, personnel decisions that are in season from their boardroom. And everybody jumped on my ass for this and that, but they didn't hear my point. It's the coaching decisions in season. We know if that 10-year, $300 million deal with Penn State was in its second year, okay, there might be some influence of some players coming here, right? Maddie mentioned that's nothing new. I just didn't want them, or don't like them, making a football decision from a boardroom. Mm-hmm. Maddie, your thoughts on the buyout, and do you believe Adidas had anything to do with this?
I don't know. They could have had something to do with it. It could have. Everybody always goes to Pagula because he's a billionaire with a B. But they have a lot of rich alumni. There's been talk about this law firm That's a bunch of Penn Staters. They chipped in like 10 plus million. So there will be so many rumors. I think at some point in time it's going to come out how it's handled, because we're still early in the stages. I'm sure Terry could have something to do with it, but I do think Pat Kraft had this plan in place, and he went to enough alumni, and I'm sure some have came to him and says, if Franklin doesn't do X, Y, Z, we need to do this. So you could have had several alumni, and Adidas. I'm sorry, but if the money's there, it's going to talk. If Adidas wants him gone, and they're giving you $300 million for about 10 years, sorry, but money talks. And I hate saying that, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, off season, I can kind of see that. I'm just talking about like the in season stuff, because there's a difference with that, because now you're affecting, because if they're firing him because they're unhappy with his performance or the team's performance, what do you think's getting rid of him is not going to necessarily guarantee good performance?
But their deal doesn't even kick in until July
next year, right?
So,
yeah.
Yes, July. And I know that for a fact, because the Nike merch, when Zach and I were up there for the FIU game, the guy said to me, if you want the Nike merch, it'll be here till about, he says it'll still be here after July, because we still have to sell it, but we can't order anything new. So it is July. I still have my Nike merch on here. But yes.
Hold on, Matt. When you did that, you remind me of the dude from the Water Boy going like this.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to do this?
Don't do that again, man. All good, brother. Hey,
you're not going to do that, actually. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all good, man. Hey, listen, I'm glad you guys are saying that, and I thought that was the answer. Again, I wasn't saying that Adidas had anything to do with it. I was just saying if they did, to me that was a big problem, because I have
no idea.
Yeah, and that, you know what? You're right. But
I don't know.
If it does come out later, then that's going to be a hell of a 30 for 30. But I agree. I don't think they did either, because I also think Penn State wouldn't allow that, because it's an established program. They obviously they're not going to turn down $300 million, but they don't need that money. I mean, they were doing stuff with Nike and other things. So I thought that wasn't the case, but I'm just glad to hear you guys.
Well, is the Nike well dry now because of Oregon now in the Big Ten?
It is.
Too. So it's a different kind of game now. I mean,
so
does Phil Knight want Penn State to thrive? Because remember, Phil's Knight relationship was with Joe Paterno. He loved Joe Paterno. And he's probably not a Franklin fan. But sorry.
Okay. No, you're
different
good.
story. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So those are, listen, the buyouts is what it is. I mean, the details will come out later. So we do have another question from Bike Champ on this. And once you guys away, and what you have heard too is what you think of Drew Aller's injury.
It's an
I heard it was very similar to Fred Warner's injury, which is surgery. And you don't want to take his mobility away, even though he's not like Michael Vick, but the guy's pretty mobile. If you watch the UCLA game, he brought him back with his legs. But what have you guys heard on Drew Aller's injury front? And you've heard he's progressing at all, or what?
No, he needs ankle surgery.
Oh, it's ankle surgery? Okay, I thought it was a knee.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel sorry for him. I'm not going to.
Of course. I mean,
he's not produced as he should. But again, I never wish ill will on somebody's injury, even teams that I don't like. I don't wish somebody to get hurt. And I feel sorry for him, because he came back for this year to try to win a natty or get there. So I feel sorry for the injury, and it's unfortunate for him, but maybe a blessing, because Franklin's gone. So it could be a blessing. Who knows? But
who knows? Hey, listen, I saw a little tweet out there as we transition to this next topic here, the Missouri coach, and then bringing your guy Prabula bring him back. Hey, listen, he's balling out there in Missouri, man. So Harry wants to comment. Sorry, Matt, we're blocking your face there, but great comment. He basically says he sounds like Matt Rule, Manny Diaz, and Joe Brady, the OC of Buffalo, are the front runners. What do you guys have a preference of coaches? Now, before you guys give your thoughts, these are the coaches I heard are rumored that Penn State's going after. And I want to read this list. Some of those are obviously what Harry was talking about. And then you let me know if these candidates, in your opinion, are full of garbage or they're legit. First off, and before we get in that, actually, the interim Terry Smith, I love seeing a Whippio guy get a chance.
Gateway boy,
Gateway man. I think he's going to do some great things. I like to see a Whippio guy get his shot. And so if you guys can obviously comment on him as well. But Matt Rule, obviously, because he's a PSU alum. Kurt Signetti, Indiana. Manny Diaz, Fran Brown from Syracuse, but I think I heard I was listening to Dusty and Danny this morning, and he basically just shut that down quick. And I don't know, who knows what that means. But I also saw that they're possibly going to go after Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator. Of that list, did I miss anybody or any of those lists? You go, you know what? He's not an option.
Yeah. So Drink, Eli Drinkowitz from Missouri. He's interesting. Here's what I'll say, and I don't want to upset some of the alum. I want nobody with Joe Paterno ties. Nobody.
Okay. Explain.
And it has nothing to do with the sanctions or the.
Okay.
I was saying this in the mid-'90s. Joe had a good 30-year run. The game passed him by, and he left the program in a lurch. The facilities, the recruiting, it was junk by 2010. Okay. So do you really want someone that's old school, or do you want someone that's going to come in and be a good, say, fairly young offensive mind, someone that's good at recruiting, that knows NIL? And I just don't see Matt Rule is James Franklin 2.0 to me. He builds Temple, Baylor. He builds Nebraska's 5-1, although they probably should be 3-3. But they haven't been good for 20 years now. Matt Rule could go spend 10 years at Nebraska, and they'd love him. But if he comes here and goes 9-3 or 10-2, what's going to happen in a couple of years? There's an expectation. But to me, I want a fresh start of someone that is progressive, that can really take the current landscape and use, and this may be hard to hear too, but use the transfer portal. Look what Indiana's doing. They don't recruit. Indiana hasn't really recruited, right? It's all transfer kids. So maybe that's.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah,
that might be the new way. Whereas Franklin was very, I'm going to build through recruiting. I'll pick and choose the portal. I don't think the AD and Franklin saw eye to eye on the portal. So I think it's going to be someone that uses the portal that's progressive. So for me right now, today, I'd probably look more towards like Drinkowitz from Missouri, who uses the portal.
I was going to say, so question for you, Matt, before you weigh in on the coaches too. Do you think Franklin was the guy that didn't like the portal, or is it the AD that doesn't like using the portal?
Franklin.
You asking me or
Shane? I was asking any of you guys. So, I mean, Matt, that too, Franklin and portal. So, Matty Ice, what do you think about these? Who the next coach would be? Anybody that names that I read that you like, or is there somebody I'm missing that go, you know what, think about this guy?
Well, first, I want to say this. Some people are saying out there, is Penn State going to have a hard time getting coach the way they treated Franklin? If I'm a potential coach out there, I'm going to take the opposite approach here. I'm going to say they gave Franklin a Ferrari, and he totaled it. They showed that they're willing to go all in and spend the money. Now also to spend the money to get rid of him in new coaching staff. So I'm going to take the opposite side and say, if I'm that coach, I'm saying, damn, they're going to spend that kind of money, go to the portal, spend money for assistant coaches, the facilities, the upgrade on the stadium, all this money they're spending. There's some bank there. That's where I want to go. If I'm that kind of coach, yeah. Now Dabo probably no, because he's he's not a portal guy. But so as what Harry put out there, it was Matt Rule. I agree. He's a Frank 2.0. Manny Diaz, okay coach, defensive guy. Joe Brady's the intriguing one, and Jeff knows my thought on this because Jeff and Flash Flood and I were on a text last night. That one intrigues me for this reason. They're not going to want to piss off Terry Pagugla. That is the Bills' OC. So is he going to sign off on this? If he signs off on it, why do you want to get rid of your OC? Mm-hmm. So that's the one that's intriguing to me. That seems to be popping up now. I want to see where this one goes. I might be reading too much into it. I mean, I might be reading too much, but they're not going to go after Joe Brady without Terry's like his okay. You're not going to piss off that alumni guy with how much money that he can bring in. Yeah, so he has to so that's the one that intrigues me. My ultimate hire, which Jeff knows, and he's not going to like it, is Urban Meyer. He has the moxie for it. He's not afraid of anybody. I know they're not going to hire him. They're not going to hire Myers for
Let me ask you
reason.
this.
Image.
That's a good question. Let me ask you this, and Matt, I want you to take since you brought him up, because Jeff had mentioned the game passed by of Joe Paterno. And Urban Meyer was definitely ahead of his time when he was the coach there with the offensive scheme he ran as well. Do you think that's the same idea with Urban Meyer? Because it seems like also, and again, if it's legit concerns, he definitely has to step away and take care of himself, his family. But it seems like he coaches for a couple years, then it's a medical issue, has to get away. It's almost like I don't want to say the hokey pokey, but it's just like in and out. I mean, is his heart really in it in a sense of the longevity, what it takes to coach nowadays? And do you think that his system, even though it's like the spread and a hurry up, kind of like today's college game and even in the NFL, it's kind of stale, isn't it?
I think he can adapt to, and I don't need a coach for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. I want someone to come in there to get it going and then have that successor. Meyer there for 5 years would be fine for me, because I guarantee you, and I'll say this, you give him the tools, he'll win you at least one natty, maybe two. He's at least playing for two natties. The guy's got moxie. Everywhere he goes, he wins. People just don't like him personally. Okay, NFL aside, he wins everywhere he goes. I mean, the guy's a winner. He just does dumb things. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't care. I'm not asking for a choir boy. Let's just be honest. College sports isn't the same. It's not like it was in the 80s. Yeah. Who cares what a coach's classiness is? I don't care. I just want him to win.
Okay.
I was 9 years old the last time Penn State played and won a national title. I'm 48 years old. It's been 40 years.
You're throwing Urban Meyer in it. I love it.
There we go.
You're throwing Urban Meyer in there too.
He's not going to be hired. I guarantee it. But now I will say this. He was a big Joe Paterno fan. So the Joe bots might warm up to him, but will they? And will the new school people warm up to him? He was not. Joe loved him, and he respects Joe. There's a lot out there. I mean, but I don't think he'll be hired. Maybe more realistically, to go after the guy from Missouri. I don't see Kirk Cignetti leaving, but I do. And I said this to Jeff and Flash Flood last night. A lot of coaches, a lot of agents are going to be very happy with James Franklin. There's going to be a lot of raises, a lot of extensions. There's some posturing. The Marcus Freeman, he's not coming to Penn State, but I guarantee you the agent's going to put it out there. So Notre Dame ponies up the
absolutely.
money. Lane Kiffin, same thing. They're not coming to Penn State. These things are being thrown out there by their agents to get them extensions and better paydays. That's what that's coming down to. It's going to be a coach we probably really haven't talked about much personally, just my personal opinion.
I have a question for you guys, an honest question. Because I've seen a lot.
But very good question, HP.
Yeah, definitely good.
Yeah, question. Absolutely. So, considering now taking the other side of this coin, and I'm just thinking this is the other side of the coin. James Franklin gets fired, but essentially, well, some people might look at as 2 bad games. Yes, he has the 12-year run from what you guys are telling me, the shortcomings in big games, but he was winning 70% of his games. There's a high expectations at Penn State. As it should be. There are with Neil, and there's a lot more programs like in Indiana coming up, right? And others. There's a lot more parity in the NCAA now because of the transfer portal, the NIL. The Alabamas, the Penn States, the Texases, their backups are going somewhere else and starting, and they're playing very, very well. I think these multiple undefeated teams now are pretty much done. There's a lot of high expectations. There seems to be, I don't know behind closed doors what, Penn State's AD is and what he is demanding. The boosters, the alum are very demanding, as they should be based on the success that Penn State has had. Based off all of that, and this is a devil's advocate question for you guys. You guys get a chance to put your recruiting hat on for Penn State because you're also seeing now a lot of decommits happening, which is going to happen anytime there's a coaching change. It's just, Is Penn State really a top 5 job in the country?
Top 5? I don't know that it's top 5. I would say top 10.
Okay.
If you think about, it's in one of the two power conferences. So let's honestly, the Big Ten and the SEC, right?
Yep.
You're getting over 100,000 every game. I mean, there's like 95,000 season ticket holders there. It's the flagship program in the Northeast, really. It is. And so you could own a quarter of the country if you were successful. And so from that perspective, sure, there's a lot that comes with it. Like you said, it's not Texas or Florida crazy, I don't think, with donors and alum, but it's right behind. And so is it a top 10 job? Yes. Is Penn State a tier 1 program? No, I don't think so. I think that Penn State's not Ohio State and will never be. Ohio State's in a kind of a league of its own.
Yeah.
Whereas, say, Georgia, Alabama, but there's a lot of schools that are in that tier 2, like Penn State, like say USC, who hasn't won much. Whereas, like, okay, be careful what you wish for in terms of coaches, because even Lincoln Riley can't get it going there. Maybe this year, but so far not really.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think it's a top 5. No.
Okay.
I agree. They're not an elite coaching job right now, but I think they can get there. I might disagree with Jeff on that aspect. They can be Ohio State. Get the right coach, get the right money in there. They can be playing for national titles if they stick it serious. And I'm hoping that's what Pat Kraft wants to do. They're pushing top 10 right now. They're probably around 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe between 9 and 12. It just comes down to all the alumni that can, push them over. But I do say Penn State has an overall good sports program, and I think that's where it's nice to have. Where I think it's Ohio State's pretty much football, and that's it. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah,
that's
basketball every once in a while too.
Bama, Georgia, and then they're just all about pretty much football. And where Penn State, I think, takes their other sports serious too.
Cool. Yeah, and the NFL, stinking it up in Ohio helps Ohio State. There's no question that everyone's in Ohio State. And in Pennsylvania, you still have the Steelers and Eagles, which are both successful. You have Pitt. That's there's more than just. It's not just Penn State, which is why I think Ohio State they've owned that state for 40 years. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Pennsylvania sports and even hockey, the Penguins, the Phillies. I'm saying as Jeff said, if you think about Ohio sports, who wins it besides the Cavs that one year? Who's won a championship?
Yeah,
the past 40, 50 years.
Yeah, zero.
It's
Ohio.
Yes, it's been Ohio State, and that's it. Where Pennsylvania overall has many champions.
Cool.
Because there are two major football college programs can't get there. So
yeah, you're right, brother. So we'll see, what the future holds for Penn State. A lot of big names. I do think there are going to be big names attracted to the job. I do think there is going to be falsified rumors that are hiding contract negotiations. No doubt that happens in all levels of football. But let's focus on this year. Let's regroup. Terry Smith, who's from Gateway, WPIL guy.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on him? I know he's thought of very highly, in the football world. We were talking about with JJ and Harry on JJ Kitchen's podcast on Sunday night. Both those gentlemen think very highly of Terry Smith. We're definitely looking at him to see, what job he's going to do. If they hire someone else, he could be somebody that could get poached regardless. If Penn State finishes strong this year, maybe not record-wise, but performance-wise, I believe they could get poached if they bring in somebody else because, someone else is going to want their staff anyway. What are your guys' outlook for the rest of this year, considering you have Iowa up next, which is always a tough game? It's like, just a slobber knocker game, though. If you guys can get, 17 points, you probably beat them. Then after that, back-to-back Ohio State and Indiana, which are obviously tough games. So what is your outlook now that Franklin is gone for the rest of this year?
Yeah. So, Iowa's going to rain all day and all night. So that slobber knocker is going to be one of those. And obviously, you have a redshirt freshman quarterback, and with everything happening. So if Penn State can go 6-6, which is insane to say, then I would say it's probably best case, because I can't see them winning the next three. Definitely not at Ohio State. Although this could be the year they beat Ohio State.
I mean, watch it be the year they beat Ohio State, because it makes no damn sense, right?
Right. So it could be. But, here's one. Nebraska plays at Penn State. So
Nebraska right now is 25th.
Matt Rule, if he loses that game, he should be off the list, period.
He should be off the list.
I mean, I've openly said that. I mean, he's kind of, if he wants the Penn State job, he has to me spank Penn State that day.
So basically, if he wants a Penn State job, he has to beat Penn State. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to. And
then you're in, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in, but you're working to be in.
I hope not, but he probably is. But anyway, yeah,
correct.
It's going to be tough. I think it's the motivation, which is crazy because the talent's there. But what my hope is that Terry starts to play players not based on their NIL and not how much they're getting paid, but who can actually win some games. And that's the hope that he brings to.
By the way, he can actually just look at the University of Pittsburgh for that too. Play the guys that deserve to play, not the guys getting NIL money. So,
well, yeah, I mean, once things happen and things start to fall apart, then what do you have to lose?
Yeah. So this is also for my purposes, and I'm sure unless there's some hardcore. Obviously, there probably are some hardcore Penn Staters, tuning in. But tell us about this redshirt freshman quarterback.
So Ethan Grunkemeyer, he's also an Ohio kid. I want to say he's 6'2". His scouting he's kind of a mix between Prabula and Drew Aller. So he's not as good of a runner as Prabula.
How big is he?
He's like 6'2". So he's not as big as Aller, but he's more mobile. Mm-hmm. And he was a 4-star recruit coming out. Now they've had Aller and Grunk has the same quarterback coach in high school. Okay. So the same guy that developed those guys. And I want to say there's actually a third quarterback that is coming up through the ranks. It's pretty good with the same guy. And so he has all the tools, but he's a redshirt freshman. So it's hard to say, how many reps he's got. And he was, behind Prabula last year. So he was definitely not getting any reps then. And then they have another kid, Jackson Smolik, which he is a redshirt sophomore. He was hurt last year.
Redshirt what?
Sophomore. So he's
wait, redshirt what?
Oh,
sophomore from Tallahassee.
Sophomore. Sorry.
That one's for Lars, who couldn't make the.
I was going to say Lars would have definitely Thank you.
Yeah, Lars would have held you accountable for that one. So that was
blew it.
I was going to say, but Keith Jackson's the man.
That's right.
He's a sophomore from Ohio.
That's right, Ohio. So I don't know that both of them might play, but right now it's probably going to look more natural, more of like an RPO type offense. That's my guess.
Well, you know what? That could open up a few things then too. I mean, again, I think Aller could have done some of that, but you're right. He's not the mobile guy, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see what this guy is.
He was mobile for his size, and he had some pretty good hops there. I mean, I was impressed. I'm not going to knock him. He's not an RPO guy, but for his size, he has some good mobility.
Well, he could scramble, and last year, I think a lot of people forget that he was getting some first downs by just scrambling on 3rd and long, and he was getting first downs. He can scramble, but he's not a runner.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. So Matty, what do you want to see from this offense going forward? With obviously Penn State still has arguably the best backfield in the country with the two-headed monster. So what do you want to see from this offense going down the stretch? Obviously a big test against Iowa's defense, obviously one of the best defenses in the country. Their offense is just putrid. But what do you want to see from this offense?
Kinnick Stadium at nighttime is always tough, as Jeff said, and any game there's tough, especially at nighttime. You just got to try to feed Katron Allen more. I mean, he's the one that's proved it all year. Something's going on with Singleton. Don't know what it is. It started last year. That's just he had some games last year, but he wasn't Singleton. But I'm not saying don't have Singleton in there. No, I'm just saying that Kayshawn should be the feature back. And I'm hoping that's what Terry Smith does and company. I just see them be less predictable. I'm tired of just running on first down. We all know the run's coming. Can we see some more passes on first down? Because then maybe you're going to run second down or pass second down. Then you know it's a pass second down, third down. So that's where I do think you're setting your quarterback up for failure. Just to see some things more wide open. Go and take some shots deep. They're just. But they got
you have to. You're right.
They just went and they run the ball on first down. Go for it. Go for broke. Especially right now. Just open the playbook up. What do you have to lose? Go out there and have some fun. Open it up, Kolonicki. If you're that great, don't be a fraud here, okay, Kolonicki, fraud.
Hey, is anybody ever played
Jeff?
Jeff, it's like playing poker with Matty Ice. He just all in no matter what the hell cards he has.
That's right.
All in. All in.
You have
man got cards that don't even match from a different deck. He's like fucking all in.
Sure. I played poker once. You guys know that I'm not a poker player. I'm just playing in because I was like, I want out of the game. So I'm playing all in. Just get out of it. And that's the only time I've ever played poker. I'm just not a poker guy because I don't understand the game. But no, just go all in.
Nothing's a goal for Matty.
Make it fun right now. What do you really have to lose? Yeah. Seriously.
Well, you know what? The thing is whenever you go deep, even if you just take the shots, that's going to back some people
You're
up.
going to open it up. And how about we still use our tight ends? Yeah. There are tight ends on this team.
Unless you're playing there's certain cover two concepts that you really can't go deep. That's what the Steelers are facing up until Cleveland, because Cleveland plays a lot of man-to-man. So you really couldn't go deep. But to your point, sometimes you just got to take a shot. And maybe you do the old Baltimore Ravens offense with Flacco where you just draw a flag. Can't do nothing else or just throw it deep and look for a flag.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, I agree. I think you do got to take shots. And your point right now, what do you got to lose? Right. So what do you guys think? Seriously, what do you guys think of these last 6 games? Quick record prediction. Health withstanding.
3-3. I think they lose 3 in a row and then they win 3 in a row.
Well, they've already lost 3 in a row, so they're going to beat Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana.
No. They lose 3 more in a row.
Three more in a row. Okay, I'm like, whoa. Hot take of the year. You know what's going to happen. They're going to do that because it's going to make no damn sense. So,
yes.
Okay, Matty Ice.
They're losing to Ohio State big time, and I said it when they lost to Oregon. They're going to smack them, especially because Dave wants Knowles. And I figured regardless, they're going to lose to Indiana because it's going to be we beat Ohio State, the monkey ever back, or we lose to Ohio State and we get deflated. I think they actually beat Iowa. So I do think they beat Iowa because Iowa's not a great offensive team. I just said Jeff, and I think the running game is going to get going, and I think they're going to open it. I just think that they're going to open it up, and things we're going to see. Just go out there and have some fun. So I guess I'll go with the 6-6.
Yeah, like you said, what's there to lose? You think the defense is going to really step up, just like a team that plays a true freshman quarterback, a rookie quarterback in the NFL. The defense kind of takes it upon themselves. And listen, one of those running backs, all they got to do is break one. If the new quarterback can run, all he's got to do is break one. And
speaking of
you can get up on somebody. Special teams.
I do think losing Tony Rojas did hurt.
That's why. Well, according to Franklin, that's why that guy, UCLA quarterback, that guy wasn't there.
Well, that's ridiculous. But
I know,
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Listen. Anytime you lose a player,
Tony
his caliber, it hurts.
On defense,
it is why they lost the game. It's 100% why they lost the game.
Yeah,
because Dom DeLuca sucks.
Oh,
he got ran over. He couldn't stop.
Jeff, he's going. Go, Jeff.
He couldn't stop Western either. He's a walk-on for a reason. They plugged him in, and they have 4-star linebackers on the bench. Where are they at? But Rojas, you were going Rojas or bust. Well, that's pretty thin. And Tony Rojas is great, 4-3 guy, middle linebacker. But you can't have that kind of drop off. But that's why they lost UCLA, because no one was spying
Jeff,
the
what
field.
what is what year is he, Rojas?
He is a junior, so
Junior. So he might hope. I mean, if it's a significant injury, so he probably come back maybe to try to improve his draft stock, maybe, unless he's what did he get hurt with? What is his injury?
it's a knee.
Excuse me.
Unfortunately, it's a knee. So I'm hoping he gets a medical red shirt because he's a speed guy. But here's what I'll say: he loves Manny Diaz, loves him, which I don't blame him. Manny Diaz as a defensive coordinator is great, probably the best. At least in a while at Penn State. Definitely better than Pry and Tom Allen. So if Diaz comes back, then a lot of the defense probably sticks. If he's not the coach, I can see Tony Rojas going to Duke. Because I think a lot of those guys will leave because they love him that, so I'm not even thinking about who's coming back because I think it really just depends. As far as the players go.
So I mean, that's what I'm kind of curious with you guys, and kind of circle back on this as we finish up here the next few minutes. Nobody really mentioned Manny. I mean, I mentioned Manny Diaz. I think I did.
Yeah,
nobody really mentioned him. I mean, like you said, he was such a good coordinator for Penn State.
Yeah, so that was part of Harry's question too. So, he's a great defensive coordinator, extremely good. Great in the locker room. I don't know about his coaching. He could be perfect for Duke, right? Miami, it wasn't great, but Miami didn't give him a lot of support. So I don't know that it was apples to apples as far as what he could do at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't hate it. Let me say that. I wouldn't hate it. I don't know that he would be top 3, but the defense, at least the younger players that he recruited they would stay, and there wouldn't be too much turnover there.
Question,
yeah,
Jeff,
I mean, he could be the Dom Capers of college football.
I had a question for Jeff, and then Jeff can finish it off here. Manny Diaz, you said Miami don't give him a lot to work with. If Penn State gives him a lot to work with, like Franklin got in my book, the money, the facilities, the players, the portal. Do you think he would do much better here, a lot better here than he did at Miami, or do you think he's just going to be a 10-2 guy and maybe a win-up game here and there?
So that's a good question. This is a pure, just because I was listening to a podcast. So I'm going to take, it was on 3. These guys are national college guys. What they said about Manny Diaz is he will do the same things that piss you off about James Franklin as a head coach. He will make in-game decisions that you question, and you're like, why did he do that? So I don't know. I have not watched too much Duke.
Interesting.
Yes. So I don't know. But that's where I'm saying I think he's just a really good coordinator. Some coaches are just really good coordinators.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not even an insult.
Oh, I agree.
Is what it is. Yeah. Like, Dick LeBeau was a great defensive coordinator, head coach of Cincinnati. He stunk.
The Patriots OC, what's his name? The Patriots OC. What's his name? The Patriots OC. They're off the coordinator. I mean, I don't think he's a great head coach, but
yeah.
He's a great OC. I mean, but there's sometimes you figure that out by being a head coach 1 or 2 times. You know what? And there's less stress too. You have to worry about one part of the game.
Well, exactly. I mean, as a head coach anymore now, you're a CEO more than you are a coach.
Yeah,
definitely. And some guys thrive in that, and some guys don't. Some guys thrive of being in the weeds on one side of the ball or the other, and I think Jeff made a great point. I mean, Manny Diaz, he's getting a lot of pub. I think he's getting a pub from Penn State because of the success he had at Penn State.
No doubt.
And does Penn State bring him back and things like that. So,
and one interesting thing about him being there is kind of the Franklin thing. They could afford him because of his buyout. So they had to pay him as much for those 2 years when he coached there, right, Jeff? Because he could afford to take less for Penn State to be there because of his buyout.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. Last question, and we want to wrap this up here as we're hitting just about an hour here.
All right.
And I know a lot of it depends on who. But in your eyes, from a macro level, what would be a successful season for Penn State in 2026 with whoever this new coach is? Again, I know a lot depends on the coach, who they can bring in. There's coordinators. There's so many variables. I'm just looking at, okay, both of you guys, I think, were saying, the time was right for Franklin to go. He kind of he brought Penn State out of some dark times there. You guys were saying he got Penn State to a really good perennial top 10 program. What does a successful 2026 look like, knowing that there are variables, but just like I said, at a macro level?
I'll go first. 8-4. Without even know without
8-4 with what? Like with what? 8-4, like with what? Like what details? I mean, is there certain things you have to beat, a certain way the team needs to look, or what's just 8-4?
Just go out there, compete. That's all I'm asking for. I mean, I don't have their schedule in front of me to know who they're playing, where they're playing. But I think 8-4 would be successful for me.
Okay.
Anything above that's gravy, because I think with the transfer portal, Neil, all that, the game's changed. Team can flip around quick if you get the right coach. Again, depends on the coach. If it's the right coach, 8-4 is what I'm looking at.
Shank.
10-2, because Indiana's proved that there's no more 5-year plans. Get the transfers in and get to work. And so if you're going to fire a guy that's 10-2 every year, you better be 10-2.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be. And now the transfer portal. And if you heard Pat Kraft when he had his press conference, he mentioned the transfer portal over and over, to the point where that's his expectation. And I don't think you're firing a guy with $50 million of a price tag if you're not going to expect someone to come in next year and win a couple games. Now, they play at Michigan, they play USC at home, and they end the season at Washington. I think and their non-conference is junk. So I think they play Temple. So 10-2.
I heard that it was.
I got a quick question.
I heard they were playing
here.
New Hampshire.
For Shank. When do you think they have to really have that coach, hired, picked, so they can start going to the transfer portal and get the guys who they want? Because like that, now that's changed when coaches now should be hired, because if you wait too long, you're going to lose them. So when do you think Penn State really needs to pull that trigger?
Well, there's only one portal window now, and it's January.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So if you're waiting for a coach that's playing in the Natty, you're done for at least a year. So you probably are going to have to get a coach that's not making the playoffs this year, which rules out Cignetti.
And Joe Brady.
Unless
Joe Brady
on their face. Yeah.
Or could Joe Brady do both here, boys?
No, Joe Brady would leave. I think that if it was something like that, he would leave.
That's still where I'm telling you, Terry's signing off on it.
Yeah,
he has to. Penn State's not going to go behind his back. They're not doing that.
Well, listen, football. It's a cutthroat business.
Oh,
so yeah, I lied. I got one more question.
All right.
Oh, okay.
One more question. You guys we in our friend group, we always make lots of jokes. There's Pitt jokes, there's Penn State jokes, there's RMU jokes, which we stink. What do you guys think, honestly, of your non-conference schedule? I understand
that sucks, dude. Come on.
Here's why I'm
JV.
And listen, I'm not bringing this up to jab, Penn State's non-conference schedule. I'm bringing this up for this reason, because I think we've all had talks about 2030, 2031. I think that's like the D-Day of the NCAA football, I believe, if you will, because that's what a lot of the major TV contracts are up. And I believe you may see a continental break-off, if you will, from the Stone Ages of all the big-time programs kind of going off on their own, things like that. There is TV revenue that's just as important as getting into the playoffs as there are, in the regular season. And you have a marquee program like Penn State. Matt, I know you go to the FIU games. Maybe that's where you can get tickets.
I actually went to that because that fell on my son's birthday. He wanted to go.
Oh, perfect.
Okay,
well then
it's totally different.
Ignore that. Ignore that because that's great that you take your son there.
On my birthday, so I took him off. So
here's my question: when they break away in their own football world, if you will, away from the NCAA, which is it's coming.
Yeah.
Isn't there more value because of revenue sharing then, or just TV money going to Penn State if they schedule? And again, not every game, right? I think there should be one cupcake, if you will, because that's like the quasi preseason. And you look at say like at Pitt right now. God, their non-conference next year is Miami of Ohio, UCF, Wisconsin, and Ole Miss. I mean, that's kind of pushing it, but that's going to make some. That would make some TV revenue. If you just take Pitt out, put Penn State in, you give them an SEC school, an ACC school, like a good ACC school, even whether it's like a Clemson or hell, even Florida State or NC State, right? Something like that. Not like a bottom dweller. And then something like that. That's going to bring in more TV revenue.
No,
Don't
maybe.
you think, and because you can make the playoffs at 10-2, possibly 9-3, you don't have to go 11-1, 12-0 anymore. Don't you think there's more value in a stronger non-conference versus Cupcake City, if you will, and then you get into the conferences? I mean, where do you guys? Is there a happy balance in that?
There is, but keep in mind this year, Penn State had Virginia Tech on their schedule this year. Virginia Tech canceled.
That is right. That is right. Yes, that is right.
So put Virginia Tech in instead of FIU. It's still
FIU is probably better than Virginia Tech.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
but you're right. I totally forgot.
I'm leading
that they switched out. Yeah.
I think yes. To answer your question, yes, the Big Ten has 9 conference games. The ACC is going to 9. But they only have 8, so they have to schedule another that's kind of equal. Yeah. So the non-cons scheduled out so far in advance that I think part of that was 5 years ago when Penn State put this together. They were looking at it like, well, we have 9 conference games. We have to play Ohio State and Michigan every year. This was even before like USC and Oregon and all this. So when the playoff is fixed, meaning that it's going to be the top, say, 4 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams. There's going to be 16 to 20 teams that make it. Then, yes, there will be more of the Big Ten's going to play an ACC and SEC in a Big 12 school or something like that, right? And like you said, one cupcake maybe. Yeah. But it'll be consistent across conferences once that and like you said, it's 4 or 5 years. But until then.
Hey, listen, you schedule who you schedule. I like it where it's 8 conference games, 4 non-conference. Give these, like, I love the Penn State-Auburn matchup.
Yeah.
I was at the Auburn game.
That's something you don't see a lot of, right?
Yeah.
That's something you don't see a lot of.
That was a fun game.
Pitt, Tennessee. I loved Pitt, Tennessee. Both games were good. It was they were 1-1, I love non-conference games like that. And that's what I'm saying too. And, and I totally forgot about them, Virginia Tech kind of backing out on that too. But, and I don't like that the Big Ten and SEC are automatically getting 4. Because what happens if they have a down year, then there's somebody in the ACC or whoever that deserves it. Now, do they get in? Or, you know what? No, we're taking this, and I'm making this up, 7-5 Big Ten team, because we said 4 Big Ten teams, and this one's 7-5, so they're the 4th. Screw you, 9-3 ACC team, because there's 2 10-2 teams. Yeah. I don't like that, but from general rule, I get that because there's usually more top-heavy, better teams in the Big Ten and SEC, so I get that. But I'm just saying it's like, here's just me. I'm a football fan, just wants to see the matchups.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey, ED, I totally agree. It's like, look at Penn State's non-conference schedule compared to Kent State. Seriously. Look at Kent State's non-conference schedule.
Hold on. First off, real quick before you go, I think their AD hates Kent State football. Listen, my daughter goes there. Every time I look up, they're playing Oklahoma, Tennessee,
Florida
Pitt,
State,
Penn State,
Tennessee.
State. Like, what the hell? Like, Jesus.
This year, their non-conference schedule was brutal. See, like, those players are going to be hurt and done by game 3, 4, 5, whatever. I mean, I feel sorry for those players, and I get it. It's a money grab, but come on, have some respect for your football players.
You're throwing
in the same
kids
season
out there to the wolves just to get some money. Listen,
I totally agree.
Penn State.
Well, all I'm saying is their non-conference schedule kills Penn State's non-conference schedule.
Listen, with all that money, Kent State better have a 85,000 seat stadium next year with all the money they're getting from sacrificing their kids to these big major D1 programs. So, well,
HP
hey guys,
probably likes it, right?
What's that?
HP. HP probably likes Kent State getting all that money, right? HP.
Listen, possibly, and as long as it doesn't raise my contributions for my daughter, she's still got 2.5
Exactly.
years to be quiet.
You both have kids there.
Yeah, we do. So, gentlemen, this has been fun. Long time coming. Appreciate the Penn State insight, the James Franklin insight. We have a lot. Appreciate everybody who was tuning in here for a long haul. We're at about an hour and 10 minutes. If you guys would like to see more Penn State content, let me know. Hit me up on the Twitters at Burgh Cave. Or leave some comments here in the comment section below in this video. Definitely have Shank and Matty Ice and our boy Lars and other Flash Flood with the Penn State alum that are regular contributors here in the Burgh Cave. If you want to see them on more, let me know. We'll definitely have them on. Probably have them on anyway, but if you want to talk more Penn State, let us know. But
you see my beer reviews.
We're going to have Matty Ice review some pumpkin beers for us.
Yes.
But
the photo's going to come out when that happens, right? By Flash Flood.
Oh, by the way, that photo, that stink face is your picture in the phone photo, by the way. So, hey, Jeff, before we get out of here, because Maddie, I said, no, you're not much on the social medias, but Jeff, where can they find you? And you know what? Tell us a little bit about your supplements that you're getting into.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. So, you can actually, let me pull that up because it's brand new. It's just getting started. So I have, as you know, most people don't, but I have a coaching business that it focuses around health and fitness for guys our age, right? So Gen X. And I'm launching a supplement site that focuses on what guys our age should take, which is not, it's not a lot, but there's a few supplements that are pretty critical, which is like creatine, magnesium, vitamin D. So I'm launching that. It's genxhealthproducts.com. So, you can always hit me up and I'll have a Burgh Cave coupon code, I'm sure, coming in to be able to get some discounts on it. But yeah, I appreciate it. We can definitely talk more about that too at some other point.
Okay. Manny, I heard Miller Lite was one of those supplements, so I thank you. I appreciate that.
IPAs.
If it's Stella, I'm all for it.
It's IPAs and bourbon, really. It's not creatine or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, social media is not my thing.
Are we getting somebody trolling us here? Or Yin's a bunch of Jags? Yin's Nation
Hey,
Sport.
I'm definitely a Jag, so they're definitely calling me the Jag. Hey, Yinzer Nation Sport. I'm definitely a Jag.
Nation Sport. Yin's a bunch of Jags.
Call me a Jag off all day, all night.
100%. 100% Yinzer. Newcastle.
Flash Flood, get off YouTube.
That's right.
Is that Flash Flood?
Anyway, if it's not, it's like, yes, we are a bunch of Jags, and we're damn proud of that, so we're all good. Listen, guys, for listening. Yeah, absolutely. Matty Ice, anything you're said you're not much on the social medias, but anywhere anybody can.
You don't want me on social media.
No,
I somehow would crash it.
We don't really. No,
I do not do. This is the extent of me knowing how to. I am a dinosaur when it comes down to the technology. So this is tough for me. My wife set it up for me. Sorry, I'm a dinosaur. I'm 48 years old dinosaur here. Sorry.
Listen, you're more of a man than us when you admit that your wife is the reason why you're here. So great.
That's true.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody here hanging out in the Burgh Cave, hanging out with us for the full hour and 13 here. So we will see you guys again. We may come on for a few minutes before the Steeler game tomorrow. If not, our regular Monday night Steeler review, and catch me on JJ Kitchen's podcast on Sunday nights talking some Pitt football. But until the next time, guys, cheers, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
Cheers.